Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to a Thursday edition of 5 Minutes with Phil. How are you doing today? I hope well. Hey, I want to remind you, by the way, that we have a Facebook page that is devoted to nothing but 5 Minutes with Phil. And you could go on that page, just go to Facebook, search for 5 Minutes with Phil. It'll pop up, and you can find almost every episode that we've ever done of 5 Minutes with Phil. I think we just passed 1,000 of these episodes. Is that crazy or what? And so if you ever want to search for that, you can do so. Also, you could share that with your friends. You could even comment on it, whatever you need to do. If we could bless you or bless somebody that you care about with that Facebook page, then that's an enormous win for us. And so thanks for letting us do that. Now, today, I really want to talk about dealing with difficult people. How do you do that? How do you deal with people who are hard to get along with? How do you deal with people who maybe treat you bad? How do you deal with people who maybe are not the nicest people to you? You know, we all have them. Whatever our situation is in life, whether you be at work, whether you be on the campus, whether you exist, it's going to happen. And the question is, okay, how do we deal with those people that give us the biggest issues, that give us the biggest problems? Well, Jesus dealt, I think, with this issue in a great way in the moment that he was given his Sermon on the Mount. Okay? And in Matthew chapter 5, verses 43 and 44, take a look at this. Here's what he says. He says, "You have heard the law that says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." Now, this goes against what I just read, okay? That just goes against our human nature, doesn't it? The last thing we want to do is love somebody who mistreats us. The last thing we want to do is show kindness to somebody who does not show kindness to us. In fact, they show us the opposite. And then Jesus goes as far as to say, you know what you really need to do is not only love them. And in another version, or another place in the Bible, Jesus says, bless those who curse you. Okay? But then Jesus goes far and he says, pray for those who persecute you. Oh, my word. Are you kidding me, Lord? I have to do that? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And here's why, okay? Because I think a lot of people think that, well, okay, I'm praying for them, and I'm actually praying that they get a blessing, and meanwhile, I'm getting mistreated. And that's just not fair. And it's not a question of fairness. You know what this is a question of? It's a question of my heart. Okay? Because think of it, all right? If I'm letting anger and hatred and a lot of negativity just build inside of me, okay, you know what happens? I almost become like a volcano. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to erupt because I'm just holding it in and holding it in. And you know what that does? That damages me. That doesn't damage them. It damages me. You know what happens though when you pray for somebody? That's just as much for you and me as it is for the person that's hurt us. I've always said it's hard to pray for somebody that you hate, and it's hard to hate somebody that you pray for. And that is very true. What happens when I pray for somebody is that it softens my heart towards them. It makes me less hateful. It makes me less angry. It makes me more like Jesus. And I really want to encourage you to really heed the words of Jesus here. We should pray for those that mistreat us, because it's not as much for them as it is for us. Because God really cares about your heart. And so let's keep our hearts pure. And so let's do what the Lord says. with those difficult people in our lives, okay? All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Love you. And Lord willing, we'll see you again next time, okay? You take care. Bye-bye.